Have you ever noticed tiny specks, cobwebs, or squiggly lines drifting across your vision, especially when you're looking at a bright blue sky or a blank white computer screen? These odd shapes seem to float lazily in your line of sight, sometimes appearing as dots, threads, or even little shadowy clouds. They can be distracting, and you might wonder if something is wrong with your eyes. You might try to look directly at them, but as soon as you move your eyes, they dart away, always staying just out of focus. No matter how hard you try, you can't seem to catch them. These mysterious shapes are called eye floaters. They're actually tiny clumps of collagen fibers that form inside the gel-like substance filling your eyeball, known as the vitreous humor. This clear, jelly-like material helps your eye keep its round shape. As we get older, the vitreous humor slowly becomes more liquid and less gel-like. When this happens, the collagen fibers inside can clump together, forming little bits and strands. These clumps cast tiny shadows on your retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of your eye, creating the illusion of those drifting shapes you see. Floaters move as your eye moves, which is why they always seem to slip away when you try to look at them directly. They drift along with the movement of the vitreous gel, making them impossible to focus on. They're most noticeable when you're looking at a bright plain background, like a clear sky, a white wall, or a computer screen, because the contrast makes the floaters stand out more. Floaters are much more common as we age, but they can also appear if you're nearsighted, have had eye surgery, or experienced an eye injury. Most people will notice them at some point in their lives. For the vast majority of people, floaters are a completely normal part of the aging process and are usually harmless. They rarely require treatment and often become less noticeable over time as your brain learns to ignore them. But what's really happening inside your eye to cause these strange visual effects? Let's take a closer look at the science behind floaters and why they appear. Have you ever wondered why you sometimes see tiny specks, squiggly lines, or cobweb-like shapes drifting across your vision? These are called floaters, and the science behind them is fascinating. Let's take a closer look inside your eye to understand what's really happening. The story of floaters begins with a part of your eye called the vitreous humor, a clear gel-like substance that fills the space between your lens and your retina. As we age, this gel slowly changes. In youth, the vitreous is firm, smooth, and perfectly transparent, allowing light to pass through without any obstructions. But as the years go by, the vitreous gradually shrinks and becomes more watery, losing its original firmness and clarity. During this process, tiny collagen fibers inside the gel start to clump together. These clumps are what we perceive as floaters. As these clumps drift through the gel, they move with your eye and cast small shadows on your retina. This is why floaters seem to dart away when you try to look at them directly, and they're especially noticeable when you look at a bright, plain background, like a clear sky or a white wall. Most people begin to notice floaters in their 40s, or later, but the changes in the vitreous humor actually start much earlier and progress slowly over many years. Fortunately, your brain is remarkably good at adapting. Over time it learns to filter out these minor visual distractions, so you may stop noticing floaters unless you focus on them. In most cases, floaters are simply a normal part of the eye's natural aging process and are nothing to worry about, unless you experience sudden changes. However, if you suddenly see a dramatic increase in floaters, flashes of light, or a shadow in your vision, it could be a warning sign of a more serious eye condition, and you should seek medical advice right away. Most floaters are harmless, appearing as tiny specks or cobweb-like shapes drifting through your field of vision. They're a common part of aging and usually nothing to worry about, especially if they develop slowly over time. However, if you suddenly notice a dramatic increase in floaters, or if they appear all at once, this can signal a much more serious problem with your eye health. For example, if you experience a sudden shower of new floaters, or start seeing bright flashes of light in your peripheral vision, these are warning signs that should never be ignored. Another red flag is the appearance of a dark curtain or shadow moving across your vision, which can feel like a veil is being drawn over your eye. If this happens, seek medical help immediately. These symptoms can indicate retinal detachment, a true medical emergency. If left untreated, retinal detachment can lead to permanent vision loss, so it's crucial to act fast. Flashes of light occur when the shrinking vitreous gel inside your eye tugs or pulls on the delicate retina, sometimes causing small tears or holes. A curtain-like shadow or loss of part of your visual field means that a section of your retina may have already detached, which can rapidly worsen without prompt treatment. Don't wait or try to self-diagnose. If you notice any of these symptoms, call your eye doctor or visit an emergency room right away. Quick action and immediate medical attention can make all the difference and may save your sight from permanent damage. For most, floaters are harmless and fade into the background as your brain adapts. Rarely, if floaters are dense and interfere with daily life, treatments like laser vitreolysis or vitrectomy are options, but they carry risks. Vitrectomy is major surgery and only for severe cases. The key is to know you're normal and watch for sudden changes. Don't panic over a few floaters, but don't ignore red flag symptoms. Your vision is precious. Get checked if you notice anything unusual. Stay informed and take care of your eyes.